And the Executive Director of the Haiti Health Initiative Institute, Rhoda Robinson, joins me here in the studio to speak on the FGM menace. Thank you very much, Rhoda, for joining in at this time.
Thank you for having me.
So it's the year, once again, to talk about steps to eradicating this FGM trend. But for a practice that is harmful but yet cultural in nature, what makes it so deep-seated or so difficult or challenging to crack?
Thank you. I think one of the major reasons FGM still exists is the fact that we need a multi-pronged approach. Because it is cultural, we cannot just use the law to solve it. We need to involve all stakeholders, from the local governments to the traditional leaders to the religious leaders to family heads, to actually beat the continued practice of FGM in our communities.
Right, and I understand now that Ebonyi and states in the southwest like Ondo and Oyo, as well as Osun, Ekiti, Osun, Oyo, and Ebonyi state top among the top 5 states where this trend is exists in large proportions.
Yes,
and
definitely.
your agency that is has been working with some of these states. What are the takeaways in your engagement?
Since the beginning of last year, we've been working extensively with key stakeholders in Ekiti, Osun, and Oyo states to identify why FGM still exists and develop means and strategies to address this. And one of the things we have seen is that, one, while there exist laws, national laws and state laws that condemn FGM, these laws are not accepted, understood by the people. And then the writings of these laws and the provisions of this law are too weak to actually deter FGM practitioners from continuing the practice. And apart from this, we also need to empower and build the capacities of the different stakeholders, including our police force, our local security, to be able to enforce the already existing law and know how to provide support for survivors of sexual violence.
But
survivors of FGM.
Absolutely. But my takeaway from you now is that, okay, it's more of, the laws that prohibit this. But how about engagement with the people, the locals? And you say they are in the interior parts of the states now. How do we make them understand that this is not just illegal, but harmful?
Yeah. So I'll just give a takeaway from a session we had today at Haiti's commemoration of FGM Day today, and the Olori of Ile-Ife Kingdom, Olori Shilekonla Naomi. And she said one thing that really struck me, and he said that FGM is against the law. It is not supported, and we need to start educating the people to understand that it is not supported by religious backing, it is not supported by the law, it is not supported by cultural practice as well. So we need to change that mindset, and we need to change the myth that surrounds why FGM is being practiced, the myth of its ensuring purity, the myths of it promoting fertility of women. These are all wrong, these are all untrue. So we need to start changing that at the individual level, at the family level, so that they can change the culture going forward for other generations.
And of course, there are, things that one have seen about the results of this FGM, how that the girl child is maimed for life. That is, how do we stop this trend? How do we give them the help that they need for those victims that we see there?
Yes, I think one of the ways we can do this is start breaking the culture of silence that surrounds FGM. There is this unspoken rule that FGM does not have any harm. So that is the narrative that is pushed out. In actual fact, more than 80% of FGM cases are done while the child is still below 6 months old. And from 5 years old, they are still being, FGM procedures are still being carried out. But the actual negative impacts come in later on in life.
Indeed.
And nobody talks about it. Nobody recognizes it, and we need to start speaking up.
Right.
We had a survivor online who talked about her challenges as well, and moving past this, and the need to ensure that every survivor is able to move past this, understand it, and promote the need to abandon FGM at all levels.
All right, Rhoda Robinson, Executive Director of Haiti Institute. Thank you very much for your contributions.
Thank you for having me.
Right.